Welcome YouTubers, fellow preppers, and survivalists. This video is going to be about homelessness security. Alright? But first, I got to clear the air. Okay? I am a Christian constitutionalist. And anyone that stands against the Constitution is not my friend. Okay? I made a video yesterday and I got falsely accused of something, and I did everything I could to appeal it, and they still screwed me over. Alright? So I am angry. But here's the thing about dealing with me. The more someone resists, the more someone pushes against my freedoms, the stronger I get, and the more I resist. I shall not comply. Nevertheless, so I don't know how long they got me banned for, but it really messed up little Miss Prepper's thing she's got going on. But as soon as we're able to live stream again, we will. Until then, well, this is what you get. Just the regular videos. Alright, so, if you find yourself homeless, well, the thing is, if you know you're going to be homeless, prepare to be homeless. If you have a car, you're off to a good start, okay? But I'm going to start out as if you have nothing. Get you a tent and 2 tarps. And if you can afford to, stay at a campground. Now, when you're at the campground, you really got to watch your stuff, because a lot of stuff goes on at them campgrounds. And you got to follow the rules, okay? But the good thing about staying at a campground is you have electricity, you have a hot shower, and that makes a big difference when you're homeless. Alright? Now, let's go ahead and get into security. Securing your camp. Well, first off, if you have a dog, that will be a big help. If the dog is protective and will let you know someone is there. Alright? Now, you're going to need a flashlight. Couple of reasons. It gets dark at night, alright, so you need to be able to look around. But also, in a defense situation, especially when it's dark, if someone's coming at you, you just put that in their eyes. Then they're temporarily blinded, and then you have the choice to either run or fight. Now, if you can see the way I am, and I do have PTSD, I am going to fight. Alright? Now, and also when you're homeless, people like to victimize you, treat you like crap. Okay? You just need to understand that from the get-go. Now, so normally I walk around with a fixed-bladed knife, okay? But if you're at a campground, some people will go, oh lordy, they got a knife. Like, they don't use a knife to cut their food up. This is no different than a kitchen knife. No difference. But you will get harassed carrying something like this around. So, just carry you something like this. See how quick it opens? And at close, I would rather have this than the other thing, because I have to choose my words carefully because somebody falsely accused me of something on YouTube, and then I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm freaking furious about that. I make YouTube money, and then they're gonna do me this way also. I'm building a channel on Reddit. I'm in the process of doing that. Also, get you some mace. This stuff works great, and you know, when you have to use this, that takes it to a whole nother level. But this right here, I call it, just hit them with the hot sauce. It works great. Now, to secure your camp, there's several ways to do it. I'm going to start off the primitive way. Run you some fishing line around your perimeter, around the trees, and then put you some aluminum cans, tie them to that fence line, and put you some pebbles in the bottom of them cans. So when somebody's coming up your camp and they bump that line, you will hear that, and you'll go, somebody's out there. Alright? And if you got a dog, well, then your dog's probably gonna bark. Another thing is get you one of these right here, or more, because they run off solar, and they will let you know when someone is there, and also will let you see that someone is there. Now, if you don't have the luxury of staying at a campground, and if you can find family land or a friend that has land, set your camp up there. Okay? And then, you know, use these. That way you don't have to have no electricity. Alright? Now I'm going to be trying to bounce them around a little bit, because I'm really frustrated. Like I said though, the more that I am pushed on, the stronger I get and the more determined I get. So keep it up. You're either for me or you're against me. And I stand for the Constitution. What does that got to do with homelessness? Well, actually a lot, because that is your freedoms. But obviously there's certain platforms that are anti-First Amendment. You can figure that out yourself. Alright? But if you have the luxury of having family land or friends' land, and you got your little extra money, you can go, they're all on the side of the road, you can go and get you a buy here, pay here shed. That's exactly what I did. Okay? Me and little Miss Pepper was homeless. Okay? We put this buy here, pay here shed on the property. It was $150 a month for 2 years. Now we've been out here for 8 years. So literally my house was paid off in 2 years. Okay? Now, so that is, you have a roof over your head. You got a door that you can lock. You got solid walls. You will be better off if you can afford it and you have a place to do it. Now, if you don't have that luxury, then find you somewhere that you can stealth camp. And when you're stealth camping, I recommend you get an alcohol burner or something like that to cook your food on, because if you're burning wood, people in the area will smell that smoke and think the woods are on fire and call the authorities. And you know, it's obvious from recent experiences that we have a lot of commies in our country right now. We are in a fight for America's soul. And you must resist. And also, you know, when you're homeless, you're living free, okay? That frees up a lot of money if you have a job. Instead of paying all that money on this insane rent that's going around in America, thanks to you-know-who. I'm trying to choose my words carefully, because I got some Karen out there, a couple of them, and like I said, now I can't even do lives for I don't know how long, and that really messes us up. So maybe you can record the videos with the women and then post them. Maybe you can do that. Alright, so I won't be able to do lives, I don't know for how long, but I'm going to record the videos and post them. And again, like I said, I'm building a Reddit account also. Seems to be more freedom of speech there. Nevertheless, another good way, if you're homeless, well, let me go back full circle. The luxury of a campground is a hot shower and electricity. Now, most of these campgrounds, because I've done it, staying in a tent, you can get a small air conditioner, set it on blocks, put it up against the window in your tent, and let it run. That way you're nice and cool. Or, if it's cold outside, you can have one of those little box heaters that you plug in and keep it nice and warm in your tent without having to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning. That's why I prefer the electric heaters over the gas ones. And there's this stuff that us country boys, us rednecks, call Bisqueen. It's a plastic. It's like a see-through plastic. If you wrap your tent in that, it will help hold the coolness in or the heat in. Another thing, if you don't want to have to deal with keeping your food cold, because I do not use refrigeration, and I could, but the way things are going with this commie BS going on, they're going to shut the electricity off eventually. And I'm already prepared for that. Want to have solar. Again, these are solar. So you got your security. Also, if you have a cooler, you got to keep ice in it. You got to keep it cool. Well, if you got canned food, you don't have to keep it cool. Now, you can get away with, if you have the money, buying one of those little refrigerators and putting it inside your tent and plugging it in. Now, you may say, well, you know, the campground, they won't let me get away with running the air conditioner inside the tent. Now, I have not ever had that problem. So, if you have that problem, that would be new to me, because they charge the same for the RVs to stay there, and they run their air conditioner. So, I've never had that problem. Just the trick is when you're at a campground is don't break the rules and get along. But you got to keep an eye out on your camp, because lots goes on at them campgrounds. But if you're stealth camping and no one knows where you're at, well, then you don't have to worry about your stuff coming up missing. Alright? And when you set up a tent, it really helps. You make sure that you're not setting it up to where when it rains, water runs through, because you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night during a rainstorm and have water running through your tent. I've seen that happen. That sucks, because it gets everything wet. So make sure when you set your tent up, it's not where water runs through. And if you put a tarp down, and make sure you pick up all the rocks and stuff, and then set your tent up, and then put a tarp above it. And that will help keep you dry. And also keep the sun off of you if you're trying to keep it cool in there, if you do not have an air conditioner. Now, also, they have, actually I got it keeping my internet cool. You can get a portable fan that you can plug in, or if you're stealth camping and there's no electricity there, you can get a fan that runs off batteries like this. Now, each people, my personal choice is Ryobi. Works great, but a fan will help a lot if you can't run the air conditioner, okay? And also, an air mattress is really nice to sleep on. But remember this, I have not ever seen an air mattress that did not eventually get a hole in it. And that's no fun, going to sleep nice and comfortable and then waking up with all the air done leaked out on the ground. Not fun at all. So I would recommend a nice sleeping system, such as put down yoga mats, or get you a cot. And even on a cot, it's still nice to put like a really thick yoga mat, because even a cot can get rough to sleep on. And in the comment section below, ask me questions so in the next video I can address them. Okay? But I wish that when I was homeless that I had somebody to tell me this stuff that I had to learn the hard way. Alright? So, because I have to learn everything the hard way. Such as, now here I got solar set up, enough solar to where I can run an air conditioner. I can use a little electric burner. But if you can't do that, it's nice to have a rechargeable fan that you can use. And if you're stealth camping, it's always nice to do it near water. Because if you're like me, I do not like going to the grocery store. I do not trust the food. And I have a whole playlist on here of how to forage for your food. Alright? But also, if you can get you a kayak or a canoe or a boat or virtually anything that floats, you can go around the edges of that water or go down that river and tie your bush lines. It's a line, you tie it to something that's kind of strong with a small hook on it, because you're more likely to catch a lot of small fish than you are that one large fish, which it can happen. But if you have a small hook, the small strong hooks will also catch a big fish. Now, I showed all that stuff yesterday, the video they took down. But I guess I'll have to do it again. I can get stuff down. Little Miss Pepper, can you take this down for me? Alright. Now it's nice to have something that you can boil water in this, okay? Or you can use water purification tablets. Now the danger with the purification tablets is if you got contaminated water around the outside of this, when the water purification tablets work and make the water safe to drink inside of here, you will still have contaminated water around the outside of this. So make sure once your water is purified, with that purified water, you rinse the outside of this off. Ask me how I know. I learned the hard way. Alright? Now, something else. I want to show you what I feel is the best hooks to use, because these are very strong. I have caught 6-pound bass on these little hooks, but they're not the little dainty skinny ones. These are very strong. I'll put it right up there. That's the kind of hooks that I recommend for running bank lines. Also, now make sure your dog don't get a hold of it, but you can tie a line on the land and put a little piece of meat on there and catch all kind of animals that you can eat. I've done it. Okay? And this is really cool, because if you're trying to stealth camp, you don't want people to see you walking around with rod and reels and getting harassed, okay? But look at this. Now I've caught 6-pound bass with and oh, what a fight. It's fun just to catch a fish that big with this system right here. And I got this at a yard sale for $10, and I have caught a couple of $100 worth of meat with this, so it's well worth the money. But you can always just cut you a pole and tie you some line to it and just use that pole, okay? You don't have to spend a lot of money. Now, if you are going to buy fishing line, you know, it's aggravating. I got to do this all over again because somebody stepped on my constitutional rights. Nevertheless, this is the best line to use. This is that braided line that is awesome. Okay, let me make sure it's the... Well, actually, this ain't the braided line. Sorry about that. But this still works great. But honestly, I recommend getting this will work, but I recommend getting the braided line. They call it spider wire. Now the only problem with that line is there's two problems with this spider wire, which is an easy fix. If you don't tie the knots properly, that's little Miss Pepper, and my frustrations, can you put that with that spider wire? If you don't tie the knots properly, it will slip. The hook will slip off to where it won't do it with regular fishing lines. So make sure that you tie it really good, or you'll come back, your hook will be gone, your fish will be gone, and you will be hungry that night. Facts. You can also run snare wires. They're easy to do. Now, I'm trying my best, and there is a probability, a very big probability, because I done jumped through the hoops to get on that show alone. And snaring is so easy, okay? And there's many videos. I even got a video on snaring on here somewhere. But if you run some snares, you can just lay back at your campground. Can you give me that little book that's in there? You can lay back at your campground and the snares will do the hunting for you. Because in a survival situation, it's the calories in, calories out. So me personally, I would set up a bunch of bush lines. If I got a river or a lake, just set up a bunch of bush hooks like I told you. Set up a bunch of snares. And then get you a good book like this right here. You got the Bible? You got a Bible? This easily to grab? Oh. Or read the Bible. Because what we're up against, you need to pray. Now, if you're not a Christian, hey, that you do you. Because again, I believe in the Constitution and I believe in freedoms. You have the right to do whatever you want to do as long as you're not harming anyone else or breaking the law. But me personally, while my bush hooks are catching my fish for me, and while my snares are catching my red meat, I will read something like this, and by reading this, you can learn a lot. Like this has got first aid and wilderness medicine, building shelter, making a fire, hunting and trapping, a pocket survival kit, disaster preparedness. There's a lot of good stuff, and you don't want a lot of books because they're heavy. Now, if you're in this one spot like I am, heck yeah, stack the books up, you know. But if you're rocking in and out, books are heavy. Also, you see how I got this book wrapped up? If you're living outside in the environment, put them in sealed baggies so the water does not destroy your books, okay? Another thing you're going to need, if you have the money, is a hands-free light. You see how this light fits on your head? That way, your hands are free. Okay? Now, if you can't get a light like that, you can just put this in your mouth and hold it and do what you're doing. But that other way is a lot better for just accomplishing things around the camp. But for self-defense, you want a tactical light, and this here is made by Bushnell. It's got very rigid around it, and it's very bright, and it has different settings. Like you seen, the first setting was just bright ass blinded light. Then that's the lower light. Now, then you got that. So that strobe is very disorienting. So whatever you feel like setting it on, because I work as a bouncer, in the security business, and this is one of my number one tools, is the light. Now, I call it the hot sauce. Now, I love this here mace, okay, pepper spray, whatever you want to call it. But if you're indoors and you spray somebody with this, everybody's going to get some of it. And if someone has asthma, that could be a real problem. You know, innocent person standing around, you don't know they got asthma, you spray somebody with this, next thing you know, you got someone having an asthma attack. That's not good. So when I'm indoors working security, I don't use this. I use this. When I'm outdoors, I use both. Now, I will tell you, the best way to win a fight is to not get into one. So if you have the option to shot them or spray them or both, then run. Okay? Now here's a safety tip. No matter where you're camping, whether you're camping at the campground or you're stealth camping, especially if you're stealth camping, it'll keep the noise down. Get you a good saw to cut your wood if you're going to cut wood, because there is some places you can stealth camp where you can burn wood. But you need to be careful with them fires, okay? You can catch the whole woods on fire and they will lock you away for that. Alright? And when people are camping, the most way they get injured is with the machete or the axe. You know, when you got a weekend warrior just going camping, a lot of them end up in the hospital with an axe or a machete cut. Just watch that show alone and watch how many people get took out from their own knife or their own axe. It happens quite a bit. And those are skilled people that know how to do that. So if you're not working that axe on a regular basis, odds are you're going to chop yourself in the foot, or you're going to chop yourself in the leg. You're going to hurt yourself. But if you got a saw, the likelihood of getting hurt is way lower than using that axe or that machete. So that's a safety tip, okay? Because you don't want to hurt yourself. And in the grid down, you know, you definitely don't want to get hurt. And if you're homeless, well, you may not have insurance. How in the world are you going to pay for all that getting put back together? Also, if you're working a regular job, because I know a couple that are making $20 an hour, both of them. And they're living in their car because this rent down here in Florida is so ridiculous that they can't afford it. Now, most camping grounds down here in Florida, they average out $30 a night. That's $900 a month. So you need to think about that. You may want to stealth camp just to save money, so you can improve your situation. Now again, if you have a car, a truck, or a van, that is a big help. Now people used to drive by our campsite when we had a van, and they would be like amazed because I literally had a window unit in the passenger side of the van's window, and then all taped up and plugged in. And in a van, you can throw down a mattress, you can get you a portable DVD player and watch movies. It's just much better if you have a van, a truck, or a car. Now, an RV they're costly. Now, if you got one, awesome. Now, if you've never had one before, a lot of weird things go wrong with them. And so I would, if I knew that I was going to be homeless, I would do my best to save up and get a camper van. That's the best way to do it. Now, if I couldn't save up the money, then I would get me a tent and set it up just like I told you. Alright? That's the best information I know to give you. Now, in the comment section below, I want you to think and what you need to be answered, and I will make a video answering the questions. Also, if you're living in one of these buy here, pay here sheds, remember, it's just a shed, alright? But it can be home. But it doesn't come with a bathroom. So what you do is you get you a 5-gallon bucket. You can go to Walmart. They sell toilet seats and toilet lids that you can put on that bucket. Now, to keep it civil, what we do is get you a 13-gallon bag, put it in the bucket. That way you're not out there having to clean that, well, how would I call it? Clean that number 2 out of that bucket. It's a lot easier. You just use the bag, you handle your business, you pull the bag out, and you dispose of it properly. But make sure you do it properly, okay? If you're stealth camping, if you improperly dispose of that bag, you can contaminate the water. You can do a lot of bad things, okay? Not handling that properly, alright? Because when I stealth camp, down here I'll find a river or a lake that's clear water, spring fed, and I just take my bath in it. But you don't want to contaminate the water. So be careful with your waste. And now, if you see a lot of these homeless encampments, man, they're filthy, they're infested with drugs and all that. I can't do it. And I have PTSD. I cannot stay at a homeless shelter. I cannot do it. So, that is not an option for me. So I have to stay in a tent or a van or a car or a truck or a motorhome. But, man, the motorhome is very costly, and the gas, and if you can afford it, hey, that's luxury living. But a car may be all you have. And with a car, you have a lot more options, because you can find a lot of places to park it where you won't get harassed. Maybe you have a friend to let you park it in their driveway or behind their place. Maybe you have a friend to let you put one of these sheds on their property, okay? But if you don't, then you just rough it and you will figure it out. But knowing that 5-gallon bucket thing, we had to learn the hard way. But once we figured that out, that made life so much easier. Alright? And luckily I live out in the woods, you know, so it is what it is. Now, my dad, he did 3 tours in Vietnam. The cancer is eating him up. And this land is family land. So, when something happens to him, I'm going to have to move from here. And I've been here 8 years. It only took me 2 years to pay this place off. Alright? But I'm looking at some land I want. That's why when I end up on that show alone, because there's a 99% chance that I am going to be on that show. And now here's the wonderful thing about that. When they drop me off in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to be like, and I guess I'll be talking to the animals, honey, I'm home. So I will have a place to live. And then I will win it or die trying, and then I'll have the money to buy my property. But you will get hopeless and depressed if you don't have a plan. If you're like, oh, I'm just going to stay in the tent for the rest of my life, eventually, it's just, you need to have a positive attitude and work a job if you're able to. If you're not able to work a job, and there's many reasons, mental illness, physical problems, just do what you can. Like, I know someone that literally saved up enough aluminum cans, just going out and picking them up, that they saved up enough of them to buy them a van to live in. Now, was it a mountain of aluminum cans? Yep. Did they have to work to get them cans? Yep. But now they're doing the van life. And there's a million YouTube channels about the van life to where it'll show you how to do that. Alright? So I'm just coming at you straight out from the heart. Okay? I'm doing this to try to help people. And do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Hit the like button. Fight against anything that goes against the Constitution. Because if we do not keep the Constitution intact, you're going to end up in a bad situation. We all are. And we are all in this together. Now, some of us are in yachts and some of us are in lifeboats. Okay? Now, here's another thing. And I'm going to do this just to have it but I got plenty of places that I can put it. I'm going to get a pontoon boat. This is virtually just a mess, but the pontoons and the frame are in good shape. And I'm going to turn it into a houseboat. And I'm going to run it off solar. And I'm going to use what they call trolling motors to get around in. And the trolling motors run off electricity. So if you have a solar system charging the batteries up, you can troll around without having to buy fuel. Because, as long as the sun is shining, you're good. And when the day comes where the sun no longer shines, it's not really going to matter anyhow, because that will be a mass extinction. That's just facts. Now, due to this economy and our dollar is devaluing at an alarming rate, and that the people that are in control just giving away all our tax money, when instead of helping us, that's a big problem. And you need to prepare for the worst case scenario. And you also need to be mentally and physically prepared for it. Because you don't want to just curl up in a ball. You don't want to freeze up when things go bad. You want to have a plan. And now I'm quoting someone, and leave in the comments below if you know who I'm quoting. And I'm not going to get it exactly right. You need to have a plan, a backup plan, and a damn good plan. And that's as close as I could get it. Alright? So, when you're living in that tent, to give you hope for the future, you need to be doing everything you can to put back money. Now, if you go to my playlist and you forage for your food because of the price of groceries is ridiculous, well, if you forage for your food, you're eating for free. If you're catching fish, you're virtually eating for free. So instead of spending all that money on them groceries, you put that money back, and if nothing else, save up for a camper van. Then when you get the camper van, or you may already have a camper van, you save up money to buy you some property. Because the price of property is ridiculous, but here's the thing. It's already starting to happen down here in Florida. It was a bubble. I'm seeing land that I've been looking at, and they've been dropping the price. So that bubble has burst. And some particular land we're looking at, they just dropped the price by $10,000. That's a big drop. And I honestly feel that it's going to continue to devalue because people just can't afford it. So, and when I recommend watching the Economic Ninja, okay? Because he'll explain more in depth about what's going on with the money system, okay? But soon, the necessities in life are going to be so costly, which they already are, that the luxuries in life, such as, the cars, camper vans, owning your own property, hard assets, they're going to come down in price. It's already starting to happen. I don't know, if you just keep an eye on things, they're slashing prices on a lot of things. Now, anything that's a necessity, the price is going to keep going up. But if you don't do something about your situation, if you don't learn how to forage, if you don't learn how to fish, you don't learn how to hunt, then you're going to be standing in line eating this lab-grown meat that they're using chemicals to make it. I don't want to eat that. Maybe you do, but I don't want to eat chemically lab-grown meat. I would rather eat a rat than lab-grown meat. That's facts. And it's probably going to be so costly. And I know this is supposed to be about homelessness, but I'm always going to add due to inflation, my 4 cents instead of 2 cents. Alright? I'm always going to put that in there, because I'm all American. And if you know what this means, then you know what this means. And if you got a YouTube channel, careful what you say, because I'm just gonna not say it, but you figure it out. Why did they take my video down? Because I researched it. I did not do anything wrong. And I fought it. And they will not cave. And now where we normally do lives, we're just going to have to record them and then post them until they let me do lives again, if they ever do. But the thing is, like I said, you will soon be able to find me on Reddit. You have a little bit more freedom of speech over there. And anyone that is against freedom of speech, well, that's the First Amendment in the Constitution. And if you're against the Constitution, we cannot be friends. Nope. And I will take my business elsewhere. Straight up. So, and the more they fight me, the stronger I get. You see my profile picture, I'm an MMA fighter. Even though I got this gray, I still got some fights coming up. I'm a fighter, natural born bred fighter. That's my nature. That's really all I'm good at. That and working security. But if you do see that you're going to end up homeless, you're better off, instead of ignoring the situation, do everything you can to get yourself in the best position you can. Basically, prep to be homeless. Okay? That way you'll be better off. And if you're homeless and you get bored, and you're just like, man, I'm tired of sitting around this camp, go to your local library. I see a lot of homeless people that hang out at the library. It's air conditioned. They got access to the internet, access to books, a regular flushing toilet. There's a lot of things people take for granted. And there's a lot of things that people think is a necessity that is a luxury. Me and Little Miss Prepper, we take a bath in a kiddie pool. We have done that for, well, since the closed my MMA school. Because I couldn't keep paying rent on it. I had a very successful MMA school. But the pandemic, which I do believe that was, and this is just my opinion, well, you know what, I gotta be careful what I say, so you know what I'm thinking. It put me out of business. It put a lot of small business owners out of business. But when I had my MMA school, I had showers there. But as soon as that, we had to close because I couldn't keep paying rent on a building that I couldn't have people coming in and training and paying. But ever since then, we've been taking a bath in a kiddie pool. Let me tell you something. A hot shower is a luxury. A flushing toilet is a luxury. Air conditioner is a luxury. There's a lot of things that are luxuries. If you just go back a couple of generations how our great-grandparents lived, well, I grew up poor, okay? That's why I'm good at surviving, because I would have died if I didn't know how to do things, alright? But my grandparents, they didn't have electricity. They didn't have a flushing toilet. They had to dig a well and go out there and get their water. They didn't have water you can just turn on and turn off. If they wanted to heat up water, they had to build a fire and heat it up in a pot. So, a lot of things that you think you have to have, nope. What you have to have is oxygen and water. and food. And I tell you what's also a big help is faith in the man, not the human man. Faith in Heavenly Father. So, as long as you got that faith and faith in yourself, you can make it through rough times. And there's rough times a coming. And there's a lot of people that are housed that, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I promise you, there's a lot of people that's going to watch this video and go, oh, I'm good. There's a lot of people going to end up homeless very soon. It's already happening. I see it happening. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And I believe their plan is to make everything unaffordable and criminalize homelessness to where they can round you up and slave labor, basically make you work for free. Now, I truly believe that. Am I a conspiracy theorist? Yes. But I'm running out of theories because they're all coming true. So, if and when you end up homeless, you really need to concentrate and figure out a way to get yourself housed before they make it a criminal offense to be homeless. Because that I see coming. I see that coming. You know, there's a reason why they let all these people in our country, and it's more than one reason. And it's obvious that they don't give a damn about us. So do you think they care about these other people? Nope. They just have a purpose for them. And the moment that purpose is done, they're not going to take care of them. Just like us. They're giving all this money away, but eventually that money's going to stop. And then we're going to have some real problems in this country. The direction this country is headed in, everyone needs to get ready for a major conflict. I mean, for instance, when you can't even practice your First Amendment without them trying to shut you down and shut your mouth, we're already on the path of destruction. But if you learn to live homeless and learn to put back till you can find your way to get housed, now, and you know they're doing everything to divide us where no one can get along. You know why they don't want nobody getting along? Here's one of the reasons. They don't want you bunkering up. They don't want your family members to go, oh, you don't have nowhere to live? Well then, come on, come stay with me. No. Everybody's arguing about everything, about who they are, what they are, and all kind of insanity and evil. You must resist and do the right thing. So, I've covered this. Like I said, anything that I can help you with, leave in the comment section below. Hopefully I don't find something wrong with this video. Alright? And the stuff that I have done for this country and for them to do what they have done to me is, honestly, it's just sad. But I am very enraged. So, but whoever made this situation happen, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because all you did was make me stronger and woke me up to what the hell is going on. Because I knew it was going on, but it's another thing when it happens to you. So this is the All-American Prepper. Stay ready. Stay dangerous. And have a blessed day.